Looks like JJ Plays is starting.
Yeah, we're off.
Raze will probably be just a few seconds behind him. Happens every now and then.
Yeah, it's no big deal in this game because the winners and losers are determined by in-game time entirely, which you can see both on the tapes at the bottom and on the top left. Here we have the prologue, just a basic tutorial of the mechanics of the game. You have your jump, you have your grab, and at the very end you learn how to dash. The bird teaches you.
The bird, you're going to see it a few more times during the run. It's going to be really quick-paced. Is the official name Tutorial Bird? I've never actually looked that up. I gotta be honest.
It should be. Tutorial Crow, maybe.
Oh, Crow. I said bird. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, they're one and the same. All right, so we have our players getting through the prologue with no deaths. Very nice. And now they start off in the Forsaken City. So we're going to see right away on JJplaysgames side, we have some of the speed tech already being used. Oh, looks like Linkforce had to take a quick second there just to make sure his game timer was on. Just a few seconds, though. Not a big deal. So just to tell you about some of the speed tech we're going to be seeing, we have JJplaysgames just pulling off a wall bounce, which is a vertical dash up and against a wall and then a jump to give you a big vertical boost. We have hyper dashes, which give you a huge horizontal distance. And there are various other types of dash jump variations mechanics that these players will be using throughout the run.
That's the lovely thing about this game. It's like you said, there's a lot of different routes you can take. There's always the optimal, sorry about that, the optimal route that a lot of people try to take, but there's different techniques in every, ooh, Linkforce took a death there. Luckily it was an easy room. There's always different routes though that you can take with what you can. Each room's route that has moving objects have death cycles, same thing with the first entry cycles.
Yeah. And this game is great for beginners and for advanced speedrunners, and just for casual players too, just because of the variety of ways, as Xion said, in which you have to tackle a room. There's an almost infinite variety of strats you can get through a lot of these rooms of various difficulty and speed. So you can really play as you like.
Linkforce on the left actually went for what is called a neutral wall jump right there. Normally your stamina would run out if you tried to climb that wall and skip the section. Saves about 4 or 5 seconds. But by neutral wall jump, you actually save your stamina and you use your dash to skip the entire other section.
Yep. It's one of the little semi-hidden speed tech in this game that can be used in various places to shave off just a few seconds. We have both players now entering Chapter 2. Chapter 1 is very quick, as you saw. So this introduces the new mechanic of the Dream Blocks, which JJ has just activated. You basically dash through them, and you just go flying through them. Space jelly, basically.
Oh.
If you shoot out the other end into a wall, though, you die. So you got to watch out where you're headed.
Yeah, JJ Plays just a little bit far ahead. If you saw Links did an incredible save there, actually going down to a hidden berry room to not redo the room. Really good save on his part.
Very cool. JJplaysgames taking a little diagonal shortcut, saving a couple seconds there. Even that fast strat, there are a couple ways to do it. That he took the safer route of grabbing at the wall first, whereas you can just do it from midair, but it's only a 3-pixel window, so it's pretty tough. So both players are now being chased by Battlein. This is the Battlein chase scene of Chapter 2. She's basically a dark part of yourself, or the pragmatic part of yourself, depending on your point of view. She chases you from a 3-second delay behind. JJ now in the final long room of the Battlein chase. Oh, he missed that coin there, but he managed to go back and save that. Very nice. Getting through that room without dying is really important. The way deaths work in this game is if you die, you get respawned at the beginning of the screen. So the longer a screen is, and the longer it takes to get through it, and the later in the screen you die, the worse that death is in terms of how much time you lose. So long rooms act as really high-stakes screens in this game.
That's correct. Links is just a little bit behind. As you see, like Berto just said, he has to redo the longest room in the level. And even though they have a few minutes between them, those little tiny mistakes can add up throughout the entire run. It can still be a very close race.
That is very true. We often see racers, go or pretty close to each other in the first few levels. Then we might see that start to pull apart as the game goes on. The Celeste's game, the speed game of Celeste, is basically, with a couple of exceptions, most of the time saves are very small. You're just saving, a fraction of a second to maybe a few seconds in each room, sometimes more, but it's really just your general movement and your knowledge of the strats and what's coming next to be able to move fluidly and cleanly through these levels.
That is correct. JJ Plays the Start and Resort Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is where the game actually comes in. Moving object, and this is what I mentioned earlier and Berto added to, all cycle based. So when you enter a room, it might be a better option to re-leave if you die. That way you reset the cycles, because death cycles are all different than first entry.
Right. Sometimes death cycles are a little easier too, depending on your preferred method. Yeah, it can definitely be helpful to learn both the death cycle and the entrance cycle in these rooms, just in case you end up having an unfortunate incident. All right, both players making their way pretty competently through these beginning screens of the reception of the hotel. We see we have these keys we need to collect to open some doors. Just to add in a little content, got to get through some obstacle courses. Linkforce there, you can see he's pulling off this extended hyperdash. It's a hyperdash with enough movement delay between the dash and the jump that you can get your dash back before you go flying through the air. So it lets you get even more distance and cover a lot of ground. Very important tool in the speedrunner's belt. Linkforce showing off example of him knowing a death cycle strat in that room where he died and had to retry the death cycle, but he managed to find a pretty fast way through it. So we should mention, you want to explain the huge mess section, Zia?
Oh yeah, I was waiting until you were done. It will interrupt. The one thing we did miss before that, if you actually see, you can see it on Linkforce screen and then occasionally on JJ Plays, those little red tentacle-like arms, every single time you touch them, they actually extend out and become the same as the moving objects. So basically, in each room, if you touch them, you would have to reroute if you, say, missed one jump, because it'll add more thing.
Right.
Huge mech section actually has multiple different ways you can take. The fastest is bottom, top, and middle. Each one will take away certain items. The reason why we do top, bottom, middle is because it's the closest to Oshiro. And if you actually say go middle, top, bottom, the route that you have to take through each room is going to be just slightly different. Ooh, nice save by JJ Plays there. Because it's going to take away different objects. Like if you do this room later, you'll take away the sheets. There won't be sheets there where Link is. You'll come down here, the red crates will be gone, and vice versa throughout every single different part.
Yeah, it's a neat little bit of game design that regardless of the order that you tackle the sections, the next sections are a little bit harder because of what you've cleaned up. So let's see if Linkforce... Okay, Linkforce is not going for the spike jump. JJ did go for it, and he got it, but we didn't really comment on it. So it's just a trick you can use in a couple places in the game to save a bit of time. So we'll try to point it out the next time that it comes up. So these players are hitting these buttons. We just saw Linkforce do it, and now JJ cleaning up the last one. These 3 buttons you have to hit, those are the things that clean up these different bits of the big mess. So that huge mess that we saw in the middle is now completely cleaned up on JJ's side. He can grab the key and move on to the elevator shaft.
Mm-hmm.
So JJ definitely pulling ahead a bit in this race. Kind of to be expected with her respective PBs. JJ now in the elevator shaft section, which is has some pretty long rooms. It definitely steps up the difficulty a little bit. So let's see how he handles it. He's doing great so far.
He is. If you caught that on his screen on JJ Plays, I'm sorry, right before he... Ooh, ouch. So he can get the 4 hypers real quick. A little bit slower, but
yeah,
by
that was an interesting way to get through those. Definitely taking it a little bit easy there. but still pretty competent.
He just did another one. So what you can do is, if you watch a lot of the higher end speedrunners who like have sub 35s, you'll see them constantly hit walls and bounce off them and go a certain direction, up, down, left, right. Those are called wall kicks. They allow you to cover a larger distance and quicker than, say, jumping up and climbing it. It also doesn't deplete your stamina when you do the wall kick.
Right. Just another way that you can use your dash and jump together to get the high speeds. JJ is now in the Oshiro chase section, so we've pissed off the proprietor of the hotel, and he's now chasing us across the rooftop. So JJ has to deal with the cycles and obstacles that were already there, but now he's being charged at across the screen by the Oshiro in his angry form.
Yeah. The lovely thing about Oshiro, and this is one thing that a lot of speedrunners always mention, is that there is no RNG. Oshiro is cycle-based. So that's something, cannot talk. That's one really good thing about Celeste. There really is no RNG. It's all about your movement tech. You know when Oshiro is going to come at you like he did just right there on JJ Plays, you can always make a way to dodge it. Each room in Oshiro's has a way to be dodged, except for the third to last one, which just requires you to wait.
Right. That was beautifully done by JJplaysgames there.
540 is a good time.
He got through that, especially that last long room. It's very punishing if you die, and he got through it. He got through the whole. I think I only saw 2 deaths there, in between levels there. That's an extremely competent Celestial Resort, especially considering that one of those deaths is intentional and actually saves time.
Mm-hmm. Linkforce is now entering Oshiro. Ooh.
JJ is really on fantastic pace right now. Let's see if he can keep it up. JJ is now on the Chapter 4, which is the Golden Ridge. So this is just you against the mountain in this section. We just saw on his screen some wind. Wind is the main feature of this level. It pushes you back and forth. We also have these bouncy clouds like trampolines. And we got the bubbles in midair, which sort of act like little mid-air dashes that you can use to move in a particular direction. They also refresh your dash, like many of the mechanics in this game.
Yep.
Oof.
Oh.
Unfortunate death there by Linkforce at the end of that screen. Oh, that's a neat little strategy to bonk Oshiro there. JJ using a lot of neutral jumps, using the wind to help him to get up that really long wall. Oh, it looks like JJ is going to go for that spike jump. Oh, he got it on the first try. Very nice.
Very nice. Do you want to explain the spike jump? Let's see if he gets
Yeah,
this
so
one.
the spike jump is basically you're just jumping off the wall. You're not actually jumping off the spikes. You can ignore the spikes because you're moving in the direction they're pointing, and they basically don't have a hitbox for you. It's only used in a few places in the speedrun, but it's pretty cool. And yeah.
JJ
Nice auto-scroller skip there. So there are these moving blocks in Chapter 4 that sort of act like auto-scrollers in the sense that they move pretty slowly, and sometimes you have to wait for them. But a lot of them can be skipped, at least some partially skipped, by doing various tricky movement. So he just actually skipped the second half of that whole auto-scroller by doing an extended dash jump using the momentum added by the block pushing him. Very cool. Linkforce has finished up Celestial Resort now. So he'll be joining JJ in Golden Ridge.
Golden Ridge is definitely resorts where the difficulty kind of ramps up with cycle based, but Golden Ridge definitely adds in that new element of wind, which for new time players can really throw you for a spin if you're not used to it.
Yeah, it kind of changes like the whole way your movement feels. JJ getting a little bored there waiting for the auto scroller. This is one that you really have to wait for, at least if you're not at the TAS.
Yeah, TAS is the only thing that can skip that. Not even Teach is that good.
I think a human has done it, but
oh,
I mean, I've even heard that it was actually discovered originally by a human, but it's just not realistic to go for in runs. It's just too ridiculous.
Oh, I did not know that one. I thought it was TAS only.
I'm pretty, I hope someone corrects me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that a human has pulled it off. I forget who it is. I want to say it's probably like Revo or Babai or something.
Linkforce is making pretty decent pace though through Golden Ridge. JJ Plays is coming near the end section. In section, the wind will go to pushing you faster towards the screen to really pushing you back and slowing you down. If you're not dashing, and jumping on the snowballs like he just did, you're going to lose a lot of momentum. This section adds in the snowballs. The snowballs are basically kind of like Oshiro. There's no RNG. They're all cycle-based. If you know how to count them, you can literally just wait for them to spawn and move around them. It's all about how confident you are with the room and how confident you are with being able to make the more advanced tricks to go through them fast.
Yeah, we actually just saw another somewhat understated auto-scroller skip on Linkforce's screen. He did miss it the first time, but by using 2 wall bounces up, including one from the screen transition, you can skip in a little auto-scroller there. He did have to do it twice, though. He had to try it twice. And he's skipping the second auto-scroller skip. That's fine. Oh, JJ has just finished up Golden Ridge.
He did.
Moglar 5K says that the that second auto-scroller task strat was, task only strat was found by Moglar 5K. I'm not sure if he is a, that actually like rings a bell, but I don't know.
I've heard his name, but I don't know him personally. Sorry, Mogler.
Sorry if I'm imputing your trustworthiness there. Let's just say I believe you. How about that?
Linkforce is making decent time trying to catch back up. JJ Plays is starting temple. Is he going to go for the skip here?
That looks like it. He tried to go for a wave dash to skip that left room. He missed it the first time. Dashed a little bit too close to the right, but got it on the second try.
I'll be honest. That's the only way I can get that skip. It's definitely one of the a little bit easier, at the same time difficult.
Oh, wasn't Mogler like one of the first guys who was running this game? I think it's actually plausible. I seem to remember he was like one of the first people to like have world record in this game.
Chad is now trying.
I apologize, Mogler. I joined the speedrun community pretty late here, so I'm not really up to speed on the history.
I'll admit, Gil, I took 3 months off for work, so sorry. JJ Plays is going to go for a really easy temple skip and allows you to skip getting the keys in this section. And it saves easily a minute or so, even if you're fast, maybe a little bit less. But it's a developer-intended skip. That's the good part about it.
Yeah, it's cool. It basically lets you skip. It lets you take a key later in the level instead of using it on that door to get a spoiler. Sorry about that. But yeah, there are actually you're not going to see very much of it in the any % run, but there's a lot of secrets and hidden paths and stuff in this game. There's a lot more to this game than just the any % run. Not just the secrets and the levels themselves, but a lot of bonus levels and stuff. So it's a great game. Highly recommend it. Oh, so JJ is now in the. He just had a brief tutorial about how the secrets work by getting to play as one for a little bit. Seekers are the new enemy we're going to be introduced to in just a moment. JJ is now through the mirror, and he's in the spooky part of the mirror temple.
The one thing did we cover? I think we did. Those little blocks right there actually only move when you dash. If you covered that, I apologize.
I don't think we did. We've been skipping a lot of the mechanics, I think. But
I mean, JJ Plays is moving pretty quick, so.
Yeah, it's really hard to cover everything when commentating. I mean, hopefully a lot of the folks here are already somewhat aware of the mechanics, or at least can figure it out by watching it. I mean, a lot of it is pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. One cool thing about these seekers is that you can manipulate them to hit those lock switches for you. So I think we already have seen some manipulation of them from JJ. Here's another one where he hangs on that wall for a second to bait the seeker into hitting that lock switch for him.
Yep. Lynx was also able to get the skip using wave dash as well.
There are a lot of ways to do that skip. It's really cool. It just shows off how many ways there are to play this game, even to play it quickly. There's like I know at least 4 separate strats to do that little skip.
Yep. Do you want to explain the skip that JJ is getting ready to do?
Oh yeah, so this is called Search Skip. It is the biggest time save in the game. So like I said before, like most time saves in this game are just a few seconds at most. This one is like 2 or 3 minutes. So it's basically mandatory if you want to run the game. Normally, you'd have to go through a huge dark labyrinth and collect 2 keys in order to get through that long hallway of tentacles, but with a couple of neat movement texts, we can just get through it without the keys.
It looks really difficult, but it's actually not. It's just a really quick, easy backwards dash. You get your dash back, and then you're able to literally just re-dash to skip through it.
Yeah,
I thought it was really hard when I started running, but it's a real easy. And now he's coming up on the Theo section. Mixmaster Theo's in the house.
So Theo is trapped in a crystal, and you have to escort him to the exit. And escorting Theo feels a little awkward, just mechanically, because you can't actually dash while you're holding him. So what you can do is you can throw him and then do a hyper dash or a dash jump and catch him again in midair, and you'll keep your momentum after catching him. But it adds a lot of technical difficulty to the speed movement. So this is definitely a pretty tough spot for a lot of runners. JJ making his way very nicely through this section. Linkforce, by the way, joining him in the mirror now. So Linkforce actually still not far behind, despite how fantastically JJ has been playing this whole time.
See if JJ is able to get this. Oh, he got a version of it.
Yeah, not quite, but it really didn't slow him down at all.
No, he's making really good time. Linkforce, like you said, is catching up very quickly. This is a very good time for both runners on this.
Yeah, definitely.
Final section for JJ. Well, second to final.
That's an interesting route. This is one of those big rooms where a lot of runners will have very different... Ooh, wow. That was really unlucky. Just dashing up right as that Seeker dashed above him. Oh no, dropping Theo.
At least Theo didn't get crushed, though. That would be bad.
Alright, JJ is now out of danger. He just needs to get through this big eyeball room where it's going to try to push him back. And he just has to try to get through it as quickly as possible. And Linkforce is now moving through Unraveling. And JJ finished Fishing Mirror Temple. Let's see if we can see what time that is. I think that was a 5:48 or
5:43 or 48.
Yeah, sorry. It's a little hard to tell.
There it goes.
Very nice time for Temple.
Link's actually got it if you just caught where he used a Seeker to press the button.
Yeah,
Except, it wasn't manipulated. He literally knocked him down into it.
Yeah, and I think it was actually the explosion of the Seeker respawning that set off the switch, if I saw that correctly, which is kind of a new addition actually in a new patch that can happen. So actually, Switch players, for example, don't have that yet. Just a little bit of a PC supremacy there. So JJ has entered Reflection. Not going for lay skip. Understandable. Very tough skip. So we can see right away he's using these new mechanics, the feathers, which allow you to fly in any direction for a period of time. And we have the Kevin blocks, or Grumble blocks. I really like that name for them. We can't hear them yet on JJ's game because his audio is out, but we'll hear them when Linkforce comes up to them. They make a hilarious sound. Oh man. So Reflection is kind of the big story conflict chapter of the game. And let's see. Okay, he's not going for that little skip there. JJ is he's doing a lot of speed strats, but he's also kind of doing them in a way he's doing sort of a mix of speed strat and like slow and steady, and it's really working out for him, I think.
Mm-hmm. The biggest thing I learned from I think it wasn't Teach. It might have been Finn. When you start running this game, the less you die, the better time you can get. Even if you're not the fastest at every room, the less you die means less respawnings. Linkforce is now at the Theo section too. Very good time.
Yeah, dying is usually the biggest time waste in this game. It's usually faster to do a slower strat on the first try than to do a faster strat on the second try. There's only a couple exceptions to that.
Another good thing about Reflections, there's a lot of different paths you can take. Each one's a little bit different. Some have seekers, some not seekers. I'm sorry, bumpers. Some have feathers, and then some have the pink spike crystals where you have to use the crystal to get your dash back and go over, like JJ's doing now.
Right.
So depending on your preference, one could be faster than another. But a little nice skip there though to get around the Kevin block.
Yeah. I think in terms of like optimal strats, it's pretty much known like which rooms are the fastest. But yeah, I mean, definitely player choice can come into that too if they're more comfortable with another route. I think the one real exception is the final branch where there's sort of a debate whether top or bottom is faster RTA. Top has been confirmed to be faster in the tasks, but in terms of what humans can reliably pull off, there's still a little bit of a question there.
JJ Plays is now getting to it's kind of the middle section, if you want to think about it like that, of reflections. It's kind of where you come to terms. Grandma is telling you basically to confront yourself. Little developer skip there. He went for the first one, but not the second one. It's going to go
probably just grabbing that checkpoint, and then he's going to use that checkpoint to get to the third one a little more safely. The third one, the third shortcut there's no setup for. And if you go through all 3 checkpoints and you miss the third checkpoint, the third shortcut, then you skipped all the checkpoints. I might have just totally fumbled my words there with checkpoints and shortcuts, but basically JJ again playing it a little bit safe, but still taking a pretty faster route than casual. Nice speed through that hallway. Not the usual bunny hop battle and boost that we see from a lot of players, but he did fly through that hallway at very high speed, which is nice.
And then got done with Mirror Temple. Looked like a 7:10, which is still a pretty good time for Mirror Temple.
Yeah, about a minute slower than JJ. So JJ widening his lead a little bit. Only 6 deaths though from Linkforce, which definitely shows that he's playing to his strats pretty well. Oh, so JJ now in the battle and fight, basically the big boss fight of the game, the big conflict of the story. You want to kind of explain the mechanics here?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were getting ready to start it, so I waited a second. So basically, like I was explaining earlier, Grandma basically tells you to confront yourself, come to terms. Ooh, at least it was in a shorter room. And you basically have to fight Battleland. Throughout each room, you have to get closer to her, hit her. It'll trigger her moving or going to the next room. She has a laser, which you saw getting ready to fire right there. Yep, you got to see it fire there. And then she also has the projectiles, which she can fire. The projectiles go to where you were last. So in a sense, it's kind of like the snowballs. You can bait them, but there's also rooms where it's not very easy to bait them.
Right. And a lot of the speed strats in the battle and fight kind of involve getting right up in her face just as she's about to fire her laser or something. So it can be a little bit tense.
When you get close to her, her hitbox it's kind of weird. Like you'll get pulled into it, like 2 halves form in one, which is kind of the moral of the story.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually neat. I haven't thought of that before. Yeah, in a way, it kind of makes it the hitbox is a lot bigger than it looks. And it's a little easier to get in those close calls than it seems. But it does have a pretty cool effect. So Linkforce now entering hollows. Nice little extended dash there and a dash to get over that, skipping the Kevin block. Linkforce taking the top route, pretty expected. It's generally considered to be the fastest for most of these branches. So JJ is now in the kind of the remix part of the battle and fight where it's about 2/3 in. She gets really mad. She starts telekinesing these blocks around, moving up and down, back and forth. So it adds a little more dynamic hazards to the environment. We just saw JJ actually catching a little bit too much momentum off of one of those moving blocks and ended up hitting some spikes because of it. Linkforce accidentally hitting the bumper there, getting knocked around a lot. That was unfortunate.
Everybody loves bumpers, though.
Yeah, everyone loves being a ball in a pinball game.
JJ's making really good time. I believe he's at the last room with the second Madeline section. This is a very costly room. It's like a 30-second loss. But he made very good time in it, too.
Yeah. 30 seconds is a bit high, but it's definitely probably the longest room in the battle and fight. You really don't want to die in it. It seems like you'd be surprised. 30 seconds is a lot longer in this game than it seems. It's just a really, really fast-paced game.
True.
And JJ finished it up with no problem. He's going to finish that with a 7:13, 7:14. Really nice time. Let's see. That's a 27:08 that he's entering Summit. And what was his PB again? His PB is a 37:54. So
Ooh.
So if JJ can get like a sub 11 Summit, then he will be able to PB in this match. And it's definitely possible, I think, at his skill level. Linkforce going for all three. Okay, he went for both shortcuts there, and then he went up and grabbed the checkpoint just in case he died on the third. But he didn't actually die on the third one, so he's good.
That's a really good strat.
Yeah, it's nice.
One other runner do that.
I've seen it a couple times in this tournament. It definitely costs a couple more seconds than just going straight for the third shortcut, but if you die a lot in that third shortcut,
very costly.
Yeah, it's a really good thing to get.
So JJ plays blew right through the beginning of Summit. So Summit is kind of like the climax of the story. It's revisiting every part, except together rather than fighting. Each section, 500 meters, 1,000 meters, 1,500, is all related to first, second, third, fourth level. And each one, at the end of it, you're going to see Madeline and Badeline work together to climb to the very end, to where alone they would not be able to reach. Except, Badeline can fly, so.
Yep. So we're going to see all these chapters that we've gone through before, basically their themes, and we're going to go up through them using our power of newfound self-actualization to reach the top. In our double dash. Double dashing representing the self-actualization.
I gotta say, both players are making really good time through their respective level. Linkforce is blowing through the Madeline fight. JJ Plays is blowing through 500 meters now in 1,000.
Yeah, I think both of these runners are probably feeling really good about how they're playing right now. Not that I would presume to say how they're feeling, but what I'm seeing from them is pretty great. So JJ now in 1,000 meters. This is the Dream Block section. A lot more open space here in these summit levels that kind of play off the level design of having two dashes.
Mm-hmm. The good thing that we did not cover, actually, because you only got to see it maybe 3 times in the level. With the Dream Blocks, you can actually jump out of them, and it'll boost your momentum. It's used a little bit more on the B-sides, but it still allows you to move very quickly through 1,000 meters compared to the first level. Sorry.
Yeah.
I jumbled my words.
Yeah, a lot of the mechanics in this game have sort of hidden properties to it where, I mean, the controls in this game are pretty simple. You just have your dash, your jump, and your climb. But all the ways that can be combined and all the ways they interact with the mechanics around you really make for a lot more complexity than it seems.
Very true. Definitely, JJ had to move up that room because just like that, he had the death cycle instead of the first entry cycle. A little bit different.
Wow.
The same strat. Whoa.
That was a very nice speed strat in that room. A lot of players go for a triple ultra strat in that room, but it's really hard to pull off, and it's great to see these intermediate strats that are not quite as difficult, not quite as fast. And JJ really pulling those off a lot in this run, and it's really cool, just emblematic of all the ways that you can play this game, at any skill level. It's really cool.
I'm not 100% sure how good he is at 3,000 meters and above, but his PB chance is still quite alive. 4 minutes really 1,000.
He's blasting through this summit. He's really doing well. I would not, at this rate, I would not be at all surprised to see a PB from him. Linkforce has finished his Badeline fight, and he has just leveled up as well. So he has the 2 dashes now, and he'll be finishing up Reflection in just a moment.
Oop.
Let's see if JJ goes for the auto-scroller skip. Nope, he's not going for it. There's a really cool skip you can do here to skip like the whole second half of this room. JJ playing it safe, perfectly fine.
It's a little bit more of a costly death for a time save. If you're on really good pace, it could really make or break that if it's a close run, like looking like it's going to be.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's kind of one of those tricks that kind of looks a lot harder than it is, but it definitely has its difficulty to it. Like if you have one of your elements slightly off, then you can fail, and it feels bad. Ooh, not quite getting the height he wanted there. Has to retry. That was a quick retry though. Like one of the important skills in this game, like, is to know when you're doomed and to not waste so much time dying. Like if he had to fall all the way to the bottom of the screen to die, that would have wasted a few more seconds. But he just instantly knew that he was doomed, and he just pressed retry.
JJ plays PB is 37.54, by the way.
So JJ's up-to-date PB that he told me just before the race is actually oh yeah, it's 37. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I looked it up while you were explaining that to answer his question.
Okay, cool.
He's making really good.
So yeah, really good pace.
Let's see if he's gonna. Ooh, blew through that room. Let's see if he can.
Oh, and you know who's on even better pace? Or I don't know if it's better actually. I'm bad at these calculations, but Link's PB currently is a 47.04.
Oh wow!
So looking at where he is right now, we could be seeing a several-minute PB from him if he can pull off a clutch summit.
It'd be really nice to see him get a 2 or 3 minute PB. That's a great feeling.
Yeah, let's not commentators curse him though. Oh wow, that really nice first try threading the needle strat by JJ. JJ not going for door skip. This guy, I think he knows what kind of pace he's on right now. He's not gonna make risky moves like door skip, which risks like several seconds just for saving 1 second.
That's
so
true.
Really smart move.
It's not necessarily that it's a hard trick, but it's a costly trick if you do die.
Yeah, and I would actually argue that if you're practicing door skip, if you're just like going to the room and practicing it, it's not that hard. But when you're like on a good pace and you're in the summit after a long run, it's hard. It's hard, man. Like when you're having a good summit, like especially in a race setting, like man, your hands are shaking. Like
I don't know. None of my summits and races have been good. He's blowing through the trains though.
JJ now in 3,000 meters, so he's gone through all of the earlier chapters, the remixes, and now he's up to the final section of the game. So we can get some countdowns in the chat if they feel so hyped up to inclined. These flags start at 30; they count down to 0 when you reach the top.
It's currently at 24.
Yep. He's now in the downdraft section. Downdraft, you see we have the wind back from Golden Ridge, but it's pushing downward now. So again, totally changing the way you play. This time messing with the height of your jump and dash, and like how far you fall and your ability to climb walls and stuff. Can be pretty tricky to deal with.
Making very good time already at 18.
He did have some fumbles at the very first couple of flags. No deaths, I don't think, but like he was kind of struggling to get up the wall. So that wasted some time. But
one death at 23, I believe. Ooh, 2. Still
that
on
was a
very
quick one though.
TV though.
But yeah, he'd have to have a really bad 3,000 meters to not PB at this point. Let's man, I really should not say things like that. Oh, Linkforce taking a death in that big ultra room there in the second half, so that's not good. Oh no, another one exactly the same way.
Oh.
That's always rough when that happens. Oh no, Linkforce having some trouble here for sure. Sometimes it's a little faster to slow down a bit.
The one thing that we did forget to mention, in Summit 3,000 meters, when you first start, the wind is pushing you down. It takes away your stamina, and it also makes it harder to climb upwards. When you get to the second part, the wind is actually blowing you up, which allows for some really good techniques and maneuvering that's not usually possible.
Yeah, there's like in particular, I remember there's one neutral wall jump over spikes that you can only do in updraft. You can only get that distance over updraft. And a couple other ways that like you can only get that vertical dash height in the updraft to make it way through certain things. Oh, JJ Plays Games, by the way, now in the final screen of the game, the last 5 flags here. So it looks like a sub 37 is out for him. But if he plays these last few flags well, then a PB... Oh, see, this is why I don't like to say these things.
It's still very possible.
Still very possible.
You can never PB by too much.
Nope, it's either you PB or you don't PB. Even a PB by half a second is still a PB. But this is going to be by more than a half a second, it looks like.
Very
Flag
good.
1, everyone. He's past the hard part. Now let's see if he can just... Oh, wow. Speeding up there at the end. That's a little risky one. Oh, he's doing it. He's actually doing it. 37.44.
Very good job. Nice
PB by 10 seconds.
Oh, can Linkforce save it? Oh. Linkforce tried to go for the auto-scroller skip, which I did not even catch that. I thought he was going to go through.
Let's see if he tries to go for it again. No, he's not going for it a second time. So we missed the epic hyper dash over this huge section. It looks like he actually died on the wall bounce at the end, which is unfortunate. To actually make that huge hyper dash and then to fail the wall bounce doesn't feel good.
Linkforce is still on great pace. Almost done with 2,000 meters at 6:37, and still roughly 9 minutes away from PB. You could see.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Easily.
Almost finishing up with 2,000 meters here.
Does JJ Plays have any audio at all, or is it a mic issue?
I'm not sure. His stream didn't have audio that we could use, but he is in the waiting room of our Discord here, so we could invite him in. I think maybe let's give a few minutes. I'm not sure actually what we should do. If we should just invite him in right away, or
it's really close. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm
not sure if there's something that
actually working.
Yeah. I guess the question is if there's anything coming up after this channel at 11 or so, if we have time. Because I don't want to necessarily take away from the Linkforce hype.
Linkforce is in 2,500 meters. Let's see if we can go for this skip. It's a real easy one right there. Instead of dashing like you're supposed to, save just a few seconds. Whoa! Yep. That was close.
Ooh, wow. Look at that.
That was
so he didn't get his dash back on the second wave dash, but he managed to save it by grabbing that dash block instead. Going for the key skip here. Oh, he got it on just after a couple tries. He still saves time there. You can skip the bottom route there by doing 2 neutral wall jumps out those spikes. I assume that JJ did the same thing. I didn't actually see it, but he probably did. All right.
Linkforce is getting close to door skip. He's on very, very good pace. Let's see if he goes for it to save that 1 second.
Not getting the dash momentum there.
Oh.
And this is a very hard needle to thread. I'm actually really happy if I can get it first try. There he goes.
I gotta be honest, that's one of the tricks that I never go for. He's going for door skip though. Very nice.
Hey, first try door skip. Nice job, Linkforce.
Nice little skip there too. Instead of having to hit the spring, just jump right over. Oh, and he went for that skip too. Very nice. He really wants that PB.
Yep. And he's probably going to get it too. Going into the 3,000 meters with a 41.15, when his PB is 47. Gives him 6 minutes to finish 3,000 meters to get a PB. That is way, way more than enough time.
He could
like
easily sub 45 this run, depending on how
yeah,
confident
it's
he is.
definitely possible.
I know when I'm this far ahead, my nerves are shaking, so I can only imagine what his are. Very nice skip.
Hopefully he can avoid
Curse.
looking at the timer. That's an interesting little trick there. He missed the second wall bounce. It's a pretty tricky one to get. Kind of involves using a wall bounce off a wall that's hidden by the clouds. Actually, I don't go for that one myself yet.
Hey,
it's cool if you can get it.
Goblin, he saved roughly 13 seconds for JJ Plays, by the way. That was a chat from the actual channel.
I'm going to go ahead and actually invite JJ in, and we can cheer on Linkforce together.
Oh, that sounds good. Oh, nice save, though.
Hey, JJ.
Yo.
GG on, first of all, on the win.
Thank you.
And second of all, on your new PB. Congrats, man.
Thanks.
Very nice.
It's weird to think that I'm 3 for 4 now for PBing in the tourney race.
That is so epic, dude. Dude, you were playing like a beast, my man. You were nailing those strats. You really know what you're doing.
I was like, I started like having a panic attack when I saw. I think at the very beginning of 3000, like I fell down like 3 times.
Yeah, I saw that. You were fumbling there. But you pulled it together.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I'm really impressed with how I played. I rarely play this game. The only time I play is that I do no reset before my tourney race, and then I do the race. Because I'm mainly focusing on SMS right now, so I just have Celeste as my secondary.
Well, you're doing pretty well for a secondary, man.
Very well. 2 golds in a tournament run? Very, very good.
Yeah. And I heard the commentary, and I was just going to make a quick correction. It was a deathless Celestial Resort, because I take 2 intentional deaths.
Oh, do you reset on the last Oshiro room?
No, I don't do that. I do, when I'm grabbing the key to take the other intentional death, I die, because I find the death cycle much easier for that one.
Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, we saw you doing kind of an interesting strat there. You did like the 4 hypers, or were they dash jumps?
They're dash jumps, not hypers.
Oh, interesting.
It's much safer.
I haven't actually seen anyone else do that before. I guess you just figured out that it worked for you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But, yeah.
So a 0 unintentional death, Celestial Resort. That's really impressive, man. I wish I could get that.
All right. Linkforce about to finish. I'm watching that from the stream.
Yeah, he's I think I want to say that a sub 45 is in sight.
Ooh.
It'll be close, but either way, it's going to be a sizable PB for him.
It's epic.
Yet again, another double PB race. This tournament really putting on the pressure, and the players are being tempered under this pressure, and they are becoming awesome.
That is very true. Did we get... Yeah, you added Linkforce. Awesome.
Linkforce finishes. Not quite a sub 45, but, you know, who cares about these arbitrary milestones?
Over
What
2
really
minutes,
matters
though?
is he got a PB by almost 2 minutes. An almost 2-minute PB. 47.04 down to 45.05. Absolutely insane.
It's crazy.
1 summit. That's really good.
Linkforce joining us here in the room. Looks like his mic is off. We'll see if he can join us on mic or not. I feel like last time he wasn't actually able to speak, so we'll see if that's the case this time. But since you can hear me right now, Linkforce, GG on the almost 2-minute PB, dude. That is absolutely crazy.
It is.
Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
There you are.
Hey.
Hey, Linkforce. So, man, how do you feel?
Really tired. I'm kneeling right now, so my knees are like hurting.
Wait, what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm
do
not
you
sitting
have
in a chair at all. No, no
Oh.
chair.
Did your chair break while you were playing, or what's going on, man?
I'm sitting. I'm in a different person's house.
Oh
That's
wow.
Oh,
Makes the PB even better when you think about it. Then
yeah.
Yeah, true.
Dude, that's amazing. Almost 2 minutes in a race. Whew.
that was a very good run.
I don't even
from
know what
both
to say.
runners.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
really
thanks.
impressed by both of you. So, oh man, I always fall apart during the interviews.
Interviews are the hardest part because you just
Help me out here.
So, how do you guys feel that you did compared to what you've been running regularly? Of course, you both PB'd, but how do you feel about like practice in certain levels?
I was feeling like shaky at the very beginning. Like I was just taking like unintentional deaths for like no reason. And then as soon as Restore happened, it kind of like skyrocketed. I went for strats that I wouldn't normally go for in normal runs, and I actually got them. So
That's crazy.
What about you, JJ? We
Because
noticed that you were doing really fast strats, and then
that was me. That was me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised to hear you say that, because everything that you were doing looks like you knew exactly what you were doing. Like I didn't get any sense from you that you were like doing kind of untested strats.
There were a few things I tested in Summit, and I knew all of them didn't go well. And both times I went for I died. One was in 2000 where I tried to skip the Crystal Spring, and I just went straight up, but then I retried immediately.
Oh, did you say 2000?
Yeah, in 2000.
Yeah, I saw that. I actually commented on your quick retry there.
And then the other one was on Flag 3, where you like jump in between the spikes instead of dashing in between them.
Oh yeah, did you take a death there?
I took a death there, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I went for a really fast, the long room in 1500.
Oh, that room where some people do the triple ultra.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
really
died there
I
about
really liked
4
your strat
times.
there.
I usually like go like through like one dust bunny at a time, but I skipped 2 of them, just went straight to the 3rd one.
Yeah, that's cool. I liked your strat there. It like I kind of called it out as like a nice like intermediate strat where like it's not like as slow as the casual one, but it's not as hard as like the crazy one. I was seeing like kind of a good amount of those from you actually, like including like the ravine skip in reflection.
Oh yeah.
Shortcuts. How you got the first and third shortcut, but you snagged the checkpoint for the second one.
Yeah.
It's like nice safety strats.
I'm like waiting for that point where like I'm getting rid of those safety strats, but I'm like scared to get rid of them because those are what's like keeping my runs alive.
Yeah, man, I died like 5 times on the 3rd shortcut in my last race without hitting the checkpoint, and it just feels really bad. It makes me kind of wanna do what you did.
I'm the same way. I took the checkpoint and then I got it first try.
Yeah, so you actually did. You both did different ways of getting that checkpoint. JJ got the first shortcut. Then he went the normal route towards the second checkpoint, and then he got the 3rd shortcut. You actually got the first 2 shortcuts, and then you went upwards to snag that checkpoint before going down again. And you did get that 3rd shortcut on the first try. That was nice. But when you go up for that shortcut for that checkpoint, and then you get the 3rd shortcut on the first try, you're like, why did I get that checkpoint again?
Exactly. But if I didn't get it, I would fail.
Yeah, right. That seems to be how it works. Cool. So, how you guys? You guys have? I see that. I've seen you guys play it in a lot of tournament races already. Are you almost done with your group matches?
I think I have 1 or 2 left. I have 1 tomorrow and 1 Thursday, and then I think I'm done.
I have 3 left. I have 1 scheduled Wednesday, and then I need to schedule the other 2.
Cool. Great luck in those races, and I hope I'll be able to catch them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, you both did really, really good on that playthrough.
Yeah, that was really fun
Thanks.
to commentate. So thanks for giving us your best, guys. That was really nice.
Thank you.
Thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting this tournament. Thanks to my co-host Zeon97.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the watchers.
Yeah, definitely the same thing that I always shout out whenever we do this. Make sure if you guys do enjoy it, make sure you give them a follow. Both
Yeah, follow
runners,
these
you know,
runners.
probably practice a lot. JJ might not play as much Celeste as Linkforce does, but you know.
Follow the runners.
Follow the commentators.
Follow the commentators.
No, you don't have to.
Because we love, we love you, and we want to be followed by you. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Mandatory. All right. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Any last words from anyone? That sounds morbid.
I think that's it.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Good luck
Thanks,
to both
everyone.
of you in the remainder of your race. Everyone
Thank
else
you.
who's watching who has races left, good luck as well. I will be back in a little bit, though.
Oh yeah. Good luck on your race, Sion.
If
Wait,
I beat Rev, I need to
who are you
repeat my
racing again?
races. Rev.
Oh boy. Yeah.
You got it.
Good luck, man. Like, best of luck, because you're gonna need it.
I mean,
Get a
destroying
PB.
account.
Yeah. Yeah. Go for the PB, man. Don't worry about winning the race. Just go for that PB.
That's true.
You
I
can do
did
it.
not mention that this time. As long as you guys have fun in every tournament match, that's what matters.
Mhm.
That's what I go for all the time.
All right. I think that pretty much wraps it up. So
Yep.
thanks,
Yep.
everyone.
Have
See
a
ya.
good night to both runners.
Good night to everyone. Farewell.